About a week and a half ago, some ponies assembled on their podcast and they said this about Helldivers 2 coming to Xbox.
You know this, your ears to the ground in the Xbox camp all the time. Give us Final Fantasy 16. We demand Final Fantasy 16. Didn't chart. Didn't do that well.
Message!
Not only did Final Fantasy chart, it was number 4 on the best-selling games on Xbox. So right away, we see these guys spreading misinformation. So someone needs to hold these horses accountable, and that person is going to be me. There'll be no line under my watch.
Give me Helldivers 2, damn it. I want Helldivers 2. Right? And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, we don't have any Xbox numbers. There's no sales numbers reported. There's nothing coming out of the Xbox camp on it right now. But here's the thing. We're living in an era where streamers...
What was the outlet? What was the journalist? Because we need to pull out these.
Well, let me see. I'll see if I can find it on my phone real quick while I give it to Meg.
Yeah.
But Meg, I wanted to ask your thought on it overall, because I'll find that for you, Nib, and I'll send it over. But my point is that I don't know if Helldivers 2 is going to make a substantial impact on Xbox.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
And the main reason being is not because Xbox players don't want to play it. It's because Xbox players want it on Game Pass. And I guess I'll leave that with you, Meg. Give me your take on it. You know, and do you think the Xbox community is going to buy this game? In masses, by the way. I don't mean 100K. Yeah, they're going to sell 100,000 copies, sure. But I got news for you. I'm pretty sure that they would like to see more than 100,000 copies sold.
That's an achievement nowadays, Mooch. 100,000 is a lot to Xbox fans.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that the number?
100,000.
You know? Go ahead, Mag. I'm just sharing your take on the whole thing.
So the host of the podcast, Mooch, would have predicted that Xbox fans would not buy Helldivers 2. And he went on to say that Xbox guys wanted this game on Game Pass. He also said that it would sell 100,000 very easily, but it would not sell in droves. Clearly, Mooch and all these ponies know what they are talking about. Clearly, these guys are industry veterans and they know what gamers want, what gamers would do. So what does this week say about their prediction? How did Helldivers 2 sell on the Xbox? Look at this. Helldivers 2 won't sell on the Xbox, right? Helldivers 2 may be a Sony published game, but it's got off to a way better start on Xbox than it did on PlayStation 5 after selling almost 1 million copies in less than a week. So based on what we are seeing here, not only did Helldivers 2 break all expectation from these pony horses, diseased horses, but these guys don't know what they're talking about. How many times do this have to happen for you guys to understand? These ponies know absolutely nothing. They made a bold prediction, and that prediction fell right through. And this is what we are seeing. So would these guys admit that they were wrong? Well, they had another podcast, and guess what? They spoke everything under the sun, but did not address this Helldivers 2 breaking and beating even it released on the PlayStation 5. These guys were eerily silent about talking about anything about Helldivers 2. They stayed quiet and they were shamed because guess what? It seems like Xbox gamers is buying more games than those who are on PlayStation. You could be that. Not only that, but with an installed base of 30 million, according to you ponies, you are saying that Xbox players bought this game more than a console that has over 80 million? Wow. This really exposes these ponies to be frauds. How could Helldivers 2 sell more on an installed base of, according to you ponies, 30 million? How could it sell more on Xbox? This is very, very shameful for any pony who would have said anything that Xbox players don't buy games. Wow. But it's not only Helldivers 2 that these guys are wrong about. These guys are even wrong about Hollow Knight Silksong. Now, I would admit that Hollow Knight is not for everyone. It's an indie game. It's a 2D platformer. obviously it's not for everyone. But this was the stupid take that these guys said about Hollow Knight Silksong.
Sorry, Hollow Knight Silksong. That was another one.
Can we talk about that for a second? I'm just having a hard time with this, everybody. I think every time, maybe twice a generation, we take this one game and it's a good game, and we build it up and we build it up and we build it up. Like Hollow Knight was good, right? It was good, but like, is everyone really? Death Singer, I know you are. You've been talking about it for a while, and I'm not discrediting any. Are we making too much of this Silksong? I mean, are we?
So you heard him. He basically said that, we are, overblowing the hype over Hollow Knight Silksong. And, no one is really going to play. It's not like it's GTA or anything. Well, again, these guys knew absolutely nothing because they mightn't be feeling the game. They think that because they are not feeling the game, this game would not perform, it would not sell. Now, how would Hollow Knight Silksong do upon its release? Look at this. Look at this. On Steam alone, Hollow Knight Silksong would have surpassed over 500,000 players. 500,000. Look at that. We're not talking about on Xbox, on Switch, on PlayStation, just on Steam. So not only did these guys fail to understand that Hollow Knight only released like 2 or 3 days ago and done already has 500,000 on Steam alone. This game is a bona fide hit, whether you like it or not. It may not be for you, but it's a bona fide hit. Another stupid take by those ponies on that podcast. Every game that does not have strong support on PlayStation platform, these guys have something negative to say. Now, they thought Lost Soul Aside would have been on fire. Instead, Lost Soul Aside is setting itself on fire.
Magic. Do the magic.
But they won't talk about that. They won't talk about this as a whole. Lost Soul Aside is a dumpster fire. Wow. Guys, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Of course, you guys are getting some great content here. But there's something else these ponies are wrong about. These guys are supporting Pete Hines, the past Bethesda executive, and they're also supporting Shawn Layden on their take about Game Pass. You see, these guys are saying that Game Pass is bad for the industry. Game Pass is the worst thing since sliced bread. I mean, Game Pass is taking your children lunch. Game Pass is causing polluted waters. I mean, Game Pass is what is wrong with the world. This is what Pete Hines and Shawn Layden and these ponies are saying about Game Pass. Listen to what Pete Hines would have recently said about Game Pass.
Former Bethesda exec says gaming subscription services worth Jack S***** without proper support for game developers. Bethesda Softworks former senior vice president of global marketing and communications, Pete Hines, says gaming subscription services like Xbox Game Pass are worth Jack S***** if the game developers who create content for them are not properly supported. The ex-Bethesda figurehead, who announced his retirement in 2023 after 24 years with the company, opened up about the state of the gaming industry during a new interview with Bulltap, in addition to touching on the early days of the company behind Fallout and the Elder Scrolls. Hines spoke about what he feels the future of services like Game Pass looks like. He admits his retirement from the Microsoft-owned Bethesda means his view on the matter may not be up to date. However, Hines says he witnessed what he considered to be some short-sighted decision making several years ago that now appears to be bearing out the way I said. Subscriptions have become the new 4-letter word, right? You can't buy a product anymore. Hines said, when you talk about a subscription that relies on content, if you don't figure out how to balance the needs of the service and the people running the service with the people who are providing the content, without which your subscription is worth Jack S*****, then you have a real problem. That tension is hurting a lot of people, including the content creators themselves, because they're fitting into an ecosystem that is not properly valuing and rewarding what they're making. Gamers have discussed the viability of platforms like Game Pass since its launch in 2017. While a service flooded with hundreds of games for subscribers to play sounds like a dream come true for players, how the developers behind these games receive support has been hazy. As Game Pass pushed forward into the early 2020s and PlayStation eventually established its own PlayStation Plus Center competitor, more question marks popped up. Former PlayStation boss Shawn Layden is one of many who recently critiqued the gaming subscription service model, calling the Netflix of gaming idea a danger that has him questioning. Is it healthy for the developer? Microsoft touted that Game Pass achieved $5 billion in revenue over the last year this past July after laying off hundreds of workers across its gaming branch earlier that same month. Today, Hines adds that the pressure of an ongoing gaming subscription service is affecting the very developers it needs to exist in the first place. It's a reliance on this model that he feels is hurting a lot of people. You need to properly acknowledge, compensate, and recognize what it takes to create that content and not just make a game, but make a product. He elaborated. That tension is hurting a lot of people, including the content creators themselves, because they're fitting into an ecosystem that is not properly valuing and rewarding what they're making. To Bethesda Studio.
So Pete Hines, Shawn Layden, and all these ponies are trying to convince us that Game Pass is bad for gamers, it's bad for the industry. I mean, this year alone, Game Pass just killed it. So much bangers was on Game Pass. I mean, Silk Song, the game I recently spoke about is on Game Pass. Expedition 33. I mean, so many games. Look at this list of games came to Game Pass this year. I mean, it's just amazing what Game Pass is doing. But you know, we love to bring facts and evidence to this show. But let's listen to what Critical Punch on Twitter would have compiled about how Game Pass benefits everyone. Listen.
First of all, the way developers are paid is no one is paid one way. It's not a one-size-fits-all deal. Each deal is tailored to the developer. He says that their deals are all over the place. The developer gets to decide how much they're paid during the negotiation phase. At that point, the game comes to Game Pass once they come to an agreement. So the developer is happy from the get-go about what they've decided and how they've decided to monetize their product. Here's what Phil Spencer said. In certain cases, we'll pay for the full production cost of the game, then they get all the retail opportunity on top of Game Pass. So basically what they're saying is, if you want to make a game, Xbox will pay you all of your production costs, which means jobs, which means new game for us, and it means they're covered from the get-go. And then any monetization on top of that, they also get. That's nuts. Win for Microsoft, win for developer, win for us. It's a good thing. It's okay to have good things in life.
So there you have it. Shout out to Critical Punch on Twitter. So the facts and evidence does not have any room for your emotions. Get your emotions out of it, Pete Hines. This is good for gamers, most importantly. Let Microsoft and the rest of devs figure out that money aspect. The gamers are winning, and you should be happy about that. So let me hear what you thought about the video today. Let me hear what you thought about everything that was said. Did I cook in this video? Let me know in the comment sections below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.